There is a clock in my grandfather's house. Ever since I was a child, it's been frozen, as though it's been frozen from that time. I'm heading out.
Congress passed yet another bill yesterday adding prohibited subject matter in broadcast media. Protesters are claiming this is an unprecedented attack on artistic freedom.
Yet life keeps moving on, and the times keep changing, even for the worst. Will anything change the status quo? Like a bolt of lightning, a chance meeting shatters the ice, and time begins moving anew. Hey, wait a second!
Hello! Hello there. Yes, you. Yes, you over there. You're here for your tarot reading, aren't you? Come closer. Now closer than that, shall we? Let us do a 5-card spread for you, shall we? Ah, yes. Very interesting. Very interesting indeed. First off, we have the Hermit. The Hermit is a card that can often denote isolation, a sense of, loneliness, and a segregation from the rest of the world. Only in those times can you truly find the truth, as new answers and illumination will come upon you with the Hermit. The Hermit also happens to be a card that is a little bit of a mouthy brat. Some would say this mouthy brat should, pay more attention to what they're doing. But the Hermit does what it wants. Let us move on to the next card. The World. As we can see, it is a man at the top of his game who has achieved everything the world has to offer. He has success, and that means that with all of this success comes with his purpose. He knows what he is put on this earth to do. But he also is he's kind of a yapper. He comes from Yapville. And he should maybe talk less and listen a little more, I think. Moving on. We have the Hanged Man. Here is a man restrained by his circumstances, who seems to be tied up and in a bit of a situation. This can suggest that he is restrained in his situation and he needs to make a decision to change what's going on or to give into his situation and simply surrender to the circumstances. Only then will he also come upon enlightenment, like the Hermit. But he is also a little bit of a soft boy. Sometimes I feel like I could scare him if I just make a loud noise like boo. But, he's trying. He's growing. We move on next now to the Star. The Star is a bright guiding light in the night and serves as a reminder of what is possible, of inspiration. Should you find your guiding light, make sure to follow it, for it will bring you hope and to hopefully your right direction. In fact, this guiding light there are 2 guiding lights, 2 very large, round guiding lights on this one. She is also a beautiful, beautiful, wonderful card. I love her very much. If she were not a piece of cardboard and had the laws of this land not forbid me, the things I would do to this card. Finally, we move to our last card. Ah, the Magician. What a unique and interesting card. In fact, in order to speak about this card, I do think we will need to move to a more intimate setting, shall we? Let's go for a change of scenery. Hello there! Greetings! Look at all of you here. There's so many of you. It's so good to see all of you. I am the magician, otherwise known as Lady Rena of House Astera, and I'm so glad to meet all of you. In fact, I feel so happy to meet all of you that I think I will give us a new spread, another tarot reading. That'll tell you just a little bit about myself, shall we? So first off, with our reading, thank you so much. Moving on, let's look at my star chart. No tarot reading would be complete without a little bit of a star chart, looking at where I'm born, when I was born. So first, as I said, my name is Rena Astera. And my age, well, that's a bit of a secret. A lady has to have her secrets after all, doesn't she? And then we have my race. Now, I am a Gelis, which is, I think to you humans. Sorry if if you aren't a human, I just, generalized. But on Earth, where I imagine most of you come from, you would think of me as an angel, since we have the wings and the halo, but I don't have a biblical connection, unlike your Earth angels. So even if you die, you won't see me in heaven. Not that any of you are going there anyway. Moving on, we have my colors. So, for my colors, these are my main colors. For those of you who are interested, maybe graphic designers, here's the specific hexadecimal code. It's basically a desaturated purple and a hot pink, I guess. That's not like super saturated. I confirmed. Oh my goodness. You don't know that. All right, Oshi mark. Moving on to the Oshi mark. So, these are two symbols I would say represent me. So as you can see, there is a sparkling star. So the first symbol is because my name is Rena Astera. Aster is a type of flower, but it's also the root word for certain key words that have to do with celestial objects, like asteroids, astral projection. So that's why I thought a sparkling star would be a good option. Next, we have the second symbol. So, I am a person who comes from... My family lives comfortably, shall we say? But I'm also proud of the fact that I'm a Gelis from the city of Liberios. So, I wanted to represent both of those things in the second symbol. So, I found this delightful little symbol that has money and wings. So, that perfectly represents me, don't you think? So, those two symbols are my Oshi marks. I'm sure the second symbol doesn't mean anything else except for me. And we have my birthday. This is something you should definitely remember if you want to get on my good side. My birthday is November 9th. That makes me a Scorpio. So if you guys ever upset me, I will remember, because I hold grudges. Moving on. We have the languages I can speak. So I can speak English decently, and I can speak Japanese. Would you guys all like to hear me demonstrate my English? Or my English. In case you couldn't tell, I was speaking Gelanese so far. I know, it's been hard to understand. But, would you also like to hear me speak Japanese? Demonstrate a little bit of the Nihongo? Sure, sometimes I feel like when I'm streaming, it's like Dora the Explorer. I'm like waiting for an answer, and then there's a delay, so I don't even know what you say. Anyway, here is my self-introduction in Japanese. ごきげんよう。私はリナ・アステラと申します。皆様と会えることはとっても光栄です。私のデビューにおいでになってくださることはとっても幸せなことですわ。どうもありがとうございます。So that was my Japanese! Woo! Any native speakers, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it from any native speaker. I basically just did a self-introduction. And next up, final part of my star chart. Ta-da-dan! This is a symbol of my family crest, of the House Astera. You can see it on my chest here, if you've been looking properly. But also, if you were to go to my manor, not that any of you would be allowed to, you're too poor, you would see the symbol everywhere. So, please keep it in mind. Let's move on to the next section. This is another card, which I think you guys should remember. if you want to get on my good side. So for my likes, we have books. I love reading books. In fact, one of my favorite things to do is to write like an hour before I go to bed, is curl up with a new novel and just read a little bit first. This is the only way I can consume books because at a normal rate, because otherwise I will just stand and eat and go to the bathroom while holding a book in my hands. My nose will be stuck in the book. Like, you ever experienced that thing where you go to the library and you borrow a book as a kid, and then you take it home, and you've already finished reading it by the time you get home? You're like, fudge, I have to go change it again. So yes, I love books. Next is tea. I don't know if you could tell from my intro video, but I also love tea. I love all kinds, green, black, but I especially like ones that are very floral and herbal, something that feels really like natural. It's actually related to the next thing, which is bubble tea. I am a huge bubble tea fan. I actually think I have it too often. I have it at least once a week. I had it before stream in order to bolster my courage. I do think that I'm going to get early onset diabetes, and that's fine. They can fix that, right? Moving on. I am very original. I love cats and dogs. No one else has ever loved dogs and cats. And then I love steak. I love a big hunk of meat in my mouth. Just the bloodier, the better. I love the taste of blood in my mouth. So if you want to invite me over for dinner, just make sure that you basically go out into the yard, find us a cow, and just let me bite straight into it, right into the cow. I like movies, like most people, but I watch a lot of different kinds of movies, actually. I used to watch only like mainstream stuff or like bad movies. Like everybody's seen The Room, they've seen Rio, they've seen a lot of stuff. But I've been trying to expand my horizons recently and watching more like classic movies or what you might consider like Oscar winners. I watched 12 Angry Men the other day and I was like, whoa, this actually holds up really well. And I love karaoke. Now, I wouldn't consider myself the best singer in Celanis, which is our secret society, by the way. You'll find out who our best singer is later. But I do love to go karaoke. Every weekend, I try to go karaoke. Sometimes I'll go karaoke until the sun rises. It's, not good for you. And then finally, again, very original, I love nerd stuff. Like Dungeons and Dragons. I've been playing for probably longer than is acceptable for a young lady, but I started with 3.5, which I really liked. I really liked the 3.5. It was so robust. It had way too many skills, but it was just so fun for creating characters. I played a little bit of 4E, but I think 4E was pretty awful. Just universally, everybody didn't like it, maybe. And then 5E is what I play now. I've been playing it for a couple of years, I would say. More than a couple of years. And I currently have a campaign going with some friends. Who knows? Maybe I'll run a campaign for Celanis, huh? Huh? Would you guys want to see that? Want to see us do some nerdy stuff? I do want to get into more TTRPGs. Like, I wanted to try Pathfinder and stuff like that. But it's really hard to find, like, a regular group who is willing to try new stuff because I feel like most D&D groups either don't last that long, or there's just like one game that you guys go through for years, and it's so much easier to introduce D&D to people. My dislikes. I dislike a lot of things. I dislike bugs. And I recognize it's because I am weak, but I dislike things that look too different from me. I'm not xenophobic. But bugs, the more legs, the scarier they are to me. I try to leave bugs alone most of the time when I spot them in my room, but if I leave them alone, they'll come back later that night with a vengeance and like crawl inside my ear or something. I don't know. Body horror. Oh, but the other day I trapped a spider in a cup and it took me like an hour, but then I put it outside. I released it. I was so brave. I also dislike heights. I have a terrible fear of heights, which is kind of ironic because I am an angel, so you'd imagine I would love to fly high, but I can't stand it, actually. I dislike dirt. I dislike loud noises. This is a big one. I'm very sensitive to loud noises. So you know how like puppy dogs or dogs in general, when there's like a fireworks show outside, you have to be like, oh, where's my little baby? Where are you? And take care of them to make sure that they don't like die. That's me. I'm the puppy. You have to cover my ears when there's a fireworks show. It hurts me. Same thing with vacuums. So if you want to kill me, just play a loud noise near me and I will just die. I'll keel over. I dislike veggies, and I dislike sad animal movies. I always wonder, whenever I watch a movie and an animal appears, I'm like, all right, is this animal gonna die? Do I have to look up online if this animal's gonna die? And, you know, makes me sad. Finally, we have my skills. So, I can draw. I consider myself an artist. I've been drawing most of my life, actually. I would consider it like my main jazz, my main thing, you know? In fact, all of these cards you see here were drawn and designed by me. And maybe something else in this presentation was also created by me. I am also a writer. I love to write, love to publish a book someday. I love singing, as I mentioned. And recently I've gotten to voice acting. I am not that great yet. But I do think it's really fun, so I would love to get into more voice acting. And finally, I can use Live 2D. I'm not the best rigging artist, but I know how to use it. Moving on. We have, I know this is the part that you weebs care about the most. You otaku care about this stuff. It's the games and anime and whatever music I like. Now, I didn't want to read them all off to you guys like one by one, so I found this delightful little meme. This delightful little iceberg meme to share my likes with you guys. It's all, you know, scattered everywhere, not organized. But maybe you guys can like tag yourselves for which tier you guys are. So, you know, the deeper you go, obviously the more obscure the reference. So, you know, everybody knows Ascendance of a Book where I'm really casual. Which, by the way, I love isekai, but like not the isekai power fantasy where a dude like levels up and gets a harem. I love isekai where they do like really highly specific stuff. Like I really like when they, well, like Ascendance of Bookworm, if you haven't watched it or read it, is about a girl who she's like transported to the typical like fantasy isekai world, and she just wants to make a book. And you're following all of her steps making a book. And I think that's so fun. That's so fantastic. I love isekai. I would consider Dr. Stone an isekai like that, where you like, except it's not really isekai to a different world so much as his own world is changed. But I love that it's just focusing on science and he's not like, whoa, my magical, mystical hero powers. And then next, we have the next tier. We have stuff that's a little bit more obscure. So you got your stuff like this little detective series, this indie detective series from Nihon called Detective Conan. I don't know if any of you guys have ever heard of Detective Conan. I'm sure a few of you have, but it's a really good series. You have stuff like Deco 27. They're kind of a small band, so if there are any other fans here, I'd be really excited. And finally, we have the deepest tier. So this is not your mom's anime. This is the stuff that, like, unless you're a really die-hard anime fan and game fan, you're not gonna know these. Like, who's ever heard of One Piece? That's crazy. You are the deepest level of weeb if you've heard of Hunter x Hunter. And don't even get me started on Honkai Star Rail. I don't even know if I'm saying the name right because it's so obscure. I haven't found any other fans to talk to it about. But it's from this little game studio that you guys really should support. They're just starting out, so you guys should support MiHoYo. Am I saying the name right? I hope so. I would love to go through all of these together with you guys, but I don't have a lot of time for the debut. I'll post this chart later on Twitter or something, and maybe you guys can tag yourselves and show me which tier you consider yourselves. I would love to get to know other fans of these series. Let's move on to... What was next? I don't remember what was next. Oh, my goals. So, goals. I have ordered these in order of easiest to most difficult. So, the ones in the beginning are super easy, super achievable. And at the end, they're going to be really hard. First up, we have original music. Easy difficulty. I think this is not too bad. I think that as long as you have the budget and the right team, you can make original music. In fact, that might be a goal that we are achieving soon. And then we have defeat the government. So, like I said, we are a secret society. I don't know if you guys got the hints from the intro video, but it is basically, we're like, Celanis is a society that has some a little bit of anti-government, a bit anarchist vibes. Not, at least the government in our world. From Liberios, where I hail. So I think this will be pretty easy to do, pretty easy to topple. Next up, we have collab with Obama. This is a dream collab, but I'm pretty sure if I just send Obama a DM, he'll be like, herp, herp, Rina Astera? Yeah, count me in. Cause like, he's retired. I don't think he has a lot of things to do nowadays, and he loves anime. Moving on, we're going to the medium difficulty. So this is where it gets a little bit harder, and I think I might need your help. Might need you guys to help me with this part, okay? We have 100k subs, medium difficulty. I know that it's a big number. It's a big, scary number. And that's a lot of friends to gather. But I think that with time and effort, anything is achievable. Next, we have a 3D model. I've always wanted a 3D model ever since I laid my eyes on them. I feel like there's something that's really lost in the transition from when you lose that dimension and you're just two-dimensional. Like, there's a lot of physical comedy and physical actions that you just don't see. Body language is so important. In fact, one of our members later, you might be able to hear their body language. Keep your ears open and your hearts open to listen for the signs of body language. And finally, this is the most difficult goal. I really didn't know if I could achieve it, so it's kind of shooting for the stars. I want a walkable city with reasonable rent and a good food nearby. I know, I'm a little crazy for like turning on this on the list, but I just feel that, dreams can come true. If you shoot for the stars, you'll land among the moon, and all that good stuff. If we all try our best, I'm sure we could find a walkable city with reasonable rent. Really want that to happen. Moving on. We are going to talk about my hashtags! Woohoo! Now, I've decided some of these, but I'll need your help for some of them as well. So, I have a general tag, which is hashtag Rina Astera. So for general thoughts about me or like whatever, you can put them in this tag. Next up, we have my live tag. So if you wanted to tweet about anything that's happening, about my streams, for example, this amazing debut, you would just go on Twitter and use this hashtag, and then you can like chat with other people who are also watching. Next up, we have the fan art tag, Gallerina. Haha. It's a little pun on my name, but if you have any normal fan art or even abnormal fan art, please feel free to put it in this tag. Now, for the next part, if you are under 18, do not look at the screen. Close your eyes, but keep the tab open so the viewer count still remains high. This is the not safe for work fan art tag. Wee-oo. If you are over 18 and you've got some spicy work, some spicy little drawings just rolling around in your head, then please put them in the Asterbait tag. Do not put them in the fan art tag unless you want to traumatize some children and possibly be the subject of some therapy sessions in the future. So please keep them separate. And finally, we have the fan name. I have not decided the fan name yet because I think it's so much more fun to decide that with everyone. So let's go with, where was I? So I had some ideas, but I would love for you guys to suggest them as well. So we have Astergard, maybe Sturvins, maybe Astards, if I'm feeling a little bit of a disdain for you guys. So those are the ideas. We'll maybe decide it more at 2.0. Next up, sorry, I'm gonna have to move a little bit faster here. We are going to look at who would I be without the people who put me here today. We're gonna look at credits. So, we have my design. This design that you see in front of you. So it was actually designed by my CEO and myself. Ta-da! It was a combination. We both worked on it together. So if you like how I look, you know who to thank. And then we have my model. So this was created by the really amazing... Oh, the typo's there. I spelled it wrong. There's no E. But Bailey Studio or Bailey_OVO at Twitter. They are an amazing studio with a wide variety of artists and stuff that you can look for. So, you know, look them up. Now, specifically at Bailey Studio, my mama is miifu, and my papa is... I looked this up before stream, and I tried to pronounce it, so it's... I think that's how you pronounce it. I don't speak Chinese. Moving on, we have the overlays. So the starting screen that you saw and the ending screen you'll see were all done by Fumiho_VT at Twitter. Very beautiful stuff. And we have the logo. My logo was done by Ice Ice Brown Ice on Twitter. This might be wrong, but I think it's this. If it's a wrong credit, I'll put it on Twitter later. And then finally, my lore video. Who was that done by, that beautiful thing? Me! Yeah, that's right. I did. All of it was me. The animation, the sound mixing, some of the Foley work. I spilled soy milk all over my room when I was making the Foley work, so that was me. I've never animated before, so if you see... I don't want to hear any comments about the janky animation in some parts. Now, we have to move a little bit faster. Moving on, we have my schedule. So, you want to see what I'm doing this week, don't you? You want to follow me, don't you? We have, so on Saturday. So this one is from Saturday to Friday because of our weird debut date. But on Saturday, we'll be doing my debut 2.0. So that's when we'll talk a bit more. We'll talk about my ideas. We'll talk about fan names. We'll get to know a little bit more about myself. Maybe we'll get to talk about my likes and dislikes. And then we're going to, on Sunday. So this week I chose games that make me comfy and relaxed because I was so nervous. So on Sunday, we're going to play Dragon Quest Builders 2. That is my latest addiction. I love Dragon Quest Builders 2. It's very good. Can't wait for DQB3. Please? Please, Square Enix? And then I hit my head and I go into a coma for 3 days. And then on Thursday, we have our Celanis collab! Our group collab! Woo! We're going to be playing Pummel Party. I've never played Pummel Party before, but I'm sure it'll be very friendly and we won't hate each other after. And then on Friday, I'm going to do... Friday, we're going to be playing Ark Survival Evolved. I used to play it a lot. It was very much my comfort game. But I also didn't get very far. I was catching everything and making my base nice. So if you're like, whoa, Rena, have you played Ragnarok or any of the other maps? I'll be like, sorry, I'm a beginner. So that is the schedule for coming up. I think that's... Oh, there's one more card. I forgot. Da-da-dum! A cover? Oh? We might have a cover coming up. Yay! If you want to hear more details about it, maybe hear a preview, come to my debut 2.0 tomorrow, okay? Now that should be everything. Oh, wait. Before you guys go, please take this card with you. I have one more card to give you guys, alright? Let's do one more card for good luck. What is it? The star! She's appeared again. She returned. That's so weird. Huh. Well, I guess that means that you should probably follow the star wherever she leads you. Wherever her two very large guiding lights lead you. She's also extremely cute and adorable, and I love her so much. So maybe there will be a link in chat for where you should go next, huh? Maybe a bit of a link. If any of the mods have a little link for where you should go next, that would be super cool. If not, I will place it shortly after. Anyways, it was delightful to see all of you, and I loved meeting all of you. Please come and please stay by. Please stand by for the rest of the debuts, and hopefully I'll catch you guys soon. Maybe my debut 2.0 tomorrow. Bye-bye!